What is up, everybody? Your boy DJ Cash is, of course, back to give you my WWE main event review for August 11, 2021. A very newsworthy edition of WWE main event this week. Finally, we actually have stuff that matters, stuff to talk about. We may go a little bit over the 10-minute mark, but I'm just going to see how this goes. Again, people, if you're listening to this, if you're not listening to this, even if you listen to this for just about a second, give us a like, give us a dislike. Come on, people, like, really help me give your feedback. Like, tell me what you want to hear and tell me if you like these or not. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this right here. Of course, this was live, it was taped from the Amway Center for Monday Night Raw, which honestly, people, I gotta say, it's weird being in the Amway Center, being right back in this place, because not too long ago, this is where all of the Thunderdome screens were at. So it was kind of weird being back in the Amway Center so quickly, even though we're still trying to get away from the Thunderdome, but nonetheless. But yes, like I said, this was a very newsworthy edition of main event, as we had some NXT people, which honestly, like, this is what main event really should be. Now again, this is a show that primarily not a lot of people watch, but if you do want to make this entertaining, I mean, put some of the NXT guys against some of the guys you're not using on Raw and see what you actually got in them. I mean, I get why they want to do NXT versus NXT people, but the thing is, like, if you put some of your veteran talent, pretty much what they did with Karrion Kross and Shelton Benjamin and the former WWE NXT superstar Bronson Reed against Drew Gulak, that's what this main event show should be. And you just do that with some sprinkling in some recaps between Raw and SmackDown and catch you up on the day. This is, again, a very, very convenient 45 to 50-minute show that anybody could watch, and you still get some new, fresh people. You get new matches. You may get a solid match here and there, and you still get your recaps, and you don't need to watch the actual Raw and SmackDown shows in full. This is actually a very decent edition of main event this week. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Our first match of the NXT match here on the show was Aliyah versus Dakota Kai. This was interesting, like, right out of the gate, because, again, we were in Orlando in the Amway Center, so, of course, the home of NXT, Florida, obviously. So I was interested to see what the NXT guys' reactions were going to be. Aliyah, when she came out, which, honestly, her music has definitely changed from when when she first debuted, with William Regal having the most bizarre look on his face of, like, what is he doing here? But yeah, Aaliyah came out to a decent reaction. This Dakota Kai right here. People, if you actually have been watching NXT, of course, she's challenging for the NXT Women's Championship against Raquel Gonzalez as a dastardly heel who just turned on her friend. Meanwhile, on main event, and granted, again, this is a show that nobody watches, but for somebody that actually watches this show, and actually, I don't watch NXT as much as I used to, but I keep up with what's going on, this was mind-boggling. Dakota Kai, the heel in NXT, comes out on main event with a fairly good reaction and is a babyface, pretty much. She's out there smiling, telling everybody to come on and cheer, giving kids high fives. Like, this was straight babyface Dakota Kai, and I'm just sitting there going, like, nothing matters. Like, nothing matters. Like, people, I'm pretty sure you've seen the last month for NXT in general has just been complete bizarro world. This, to me, was just the icing on one of the things, just to be like it's inexplicable. And again, this is on a show that nobody watches, so I can't complain about it too much, because again, not everybody's gonna watch this, but it is bizarre. See Dakota Kai, the dastardly heel who turned on her best friend to get a championship match, is being the lovable babyface on the taped main event shows. That was funny. But yeah, it was Aliyah versus Dakota Kai. A lockup to kick off this match between the two women. There was actually some nice deep arm drags from Dakota Kai to Aliyah in this matchup. There was a modified net breaker into the corner from Aliyah, which Aliyah's actually gotten much better. Now, again, it's like, is she a Trish Stratus? No, but it's like, when it comes to wrestlers in general, I just need you to be passable. And she was passable in this match. She was fine. There was a spinning knee from Aaliyah in this match that looked decent. Also, there was actually a very awkward moment in this match, like where Dakota Kai was about to do a clothesline, and Aaliyah just has her arms just waving in the air. I mean, she took it right, but like that was kind of like one of those, yeah, kind of caught in the lights a little bit. There were many kicks from Dakota Kai to Aliyah in the corner. There was a beautiful Northern Light suplex from Aliyah to Dakota in this matchup. Like Aliyah, like I said, she's improved. And then as we're finally getting into the home stretch, again, this match didn't go a lot. This match didn't go a lot of time, obviously. And now we're getting towards the end where there was a modified double arm DDT pedigree like maneuver. Even though it wasn't a pedigree, either way, it was kind of sloppy. It didn't look good. But Aliyah pins Dakota Kai. Again, people, for any of us that even look up NXT or even watch it, is pinning the top women's heel for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT TakeOver 36, and Aliyah pins Dakota Kai. Again, it's hard to get mad at something for something that not a lot of people are going to watch, but it's still mind-blowing, which is pretty much the story of NXT for the last month and a half. I don't know what's going on. This is not the NXT where I was watching American Alpha and the Revival go at it. This is not the NXT that I was watching Adrian Neville versus Sami Zayn. I don't know what's going on, but that's another topic for another day. But yeah, decent match to kick off this NXT edition of Main Event. The first of many recaps was Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, their storyline. They recapped, of course, Sasha, attacking Bianca. Sasha Banks cutting the promo. Is it just me, or does it sound like Sasha's out of breath every time she talks? She's actually a pretty good promo, but it's like, I feel like her mouth's, like the tongue, like, because she has a big, she probably has like one of those tongues where it's like she's got a lisp a little bit. But I mean, the promo was fine. Then they recapped the Bianca Zelina Vega match, which personally I'm not a fan of this concept of championship contender matches, because it's like they already call it a non-title match. So it's like, so if you have a non-title match with the champion before it's a championship contenders match, then you win then you become the number one contender. It's bizarre. Not a fan of that concept. But I mean, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Sasha and Bianca. Maybe because of Bianca, not Sasha. The other recap on this show was the Finn Balor Roman Reigns stuff. And my quick thoughts on this was like, boy, Finn Balor has become a geek very quick since he's already been back on the main roster. He is being inserted in a story that does not need him. It's almost like because they're not going to get Cena every week, it was like they need to have somebody here. And it's pretty obvious that they're setting up Finn Balor for Roman Reigns after Cena, because Cena ain't winning that title at SummerSlam. That would be completely egregious. Yeah, I mean, didn't really build much interest in the Cena Reigns match. I mean, again, we don't have Cena there, even though he is there at the back. There's not really much you could do. So, but yeah, the Finn Balor stuff was definitely bizarre. The next recap on the show was Ria Ripley versus Nikki Ash, which from what I saw on Raw, it looked like a very good match. So I think I'll go back and I'll watch it over the weekend. But of course, it goes like I think it went like 9 minutes when I looked at the results, and Charlotte just runs it for the DQ. I'll probably stop it before Charlotte goes in and messes the match up. Easy heat. Now again, another match that's different, and so we have not seen. It's Odyssey Jones, the man who's possibly going to be winning the NXT Breakout Tournament, versus one Austin Theory. And this is actually my first time seeing Odyssey Jones. Again, I don't watch NXT like that, but like this is my first time seeing Odyssey Jones, and I'm like, yep, he's definitely winning this NXT Breakout Tournament because he's big and tall. But yeah, and also this is my first time seeing Austin Theory in like weeks. I mean, they've mentioned on NXT that like he's been gone, but like there's not a specific reason why he's gone from the way. Of course, this Odyssey Jones, apparently he's 6'5", 405 pounds. So yeah, that's always in his favor. A lockup to start off this match. Jones just overpowering Theory completely, which that's one of those things. It's like Austin Theory, I guarantee you, is not a tall guy, but like he was sort of like the same height of an Odyssey Jones, which is sort of a baffling match to begin with. Because it's like this should have been like a classic David versus Goliath match to me, but it was almost like same. These guys were just too similar in height to me, even though Odyssey Jones was the bigger of the two. There was like a decent shoulder block from Odyssey Jones to Austin Theory that Austin Theory took a great bump for. You can definitely tell Austin Theory has improved down NXT, so he has learned and he has gotten better, so that's good. There was a strong clothesline from Odyssey Jones to Theory when Theory was coming off the ropes. There was a nice looking missile drop kick from Austin Theory to Odyssey Jones before we went to commercial break. The crowd was really into this one. Again, I think it's because this is NXT guys, they were pretty much into both the matches on the show, and they did bring up Austin Theory's on commentary. They did bring up like Austin Theory's like past stuff that he did on Raw with like Seth Rollins and Murphy and that little thing, especially the one where they mentioned that he was on WrestleMania. So thank God they brought that up. So it's not like this is not the first time that they've seen this guy. So that was very good and refreshing. And then as soon as we're about to head to the home stretch and it's actually getting to a decent match, all of a sudden, Odyssey Jones pushes Austin Theory off the top rope. A 505-pound frog splash from Jones to Theory, and Odyssey Jones gets the win. So, again, this is kind of the theme for main event, at least the last match on the show, where the match is getting good, then it like, as it's about to get better, it just stops. But honestly, for a match for these two, honestly, like, you can tell Odyssey Jones is still green in certain areas, but he ain't that green, obviously. But, like, the thing is, it's like, if I was like, don't call Odyssey Jones up early, because he will get lost a little bit. Like, just give him, like, at least 6 months down in NXT, like, really develop himself, come up with an actual gimmick, because I actually don't know what Odyssey Jones' gimmick is. I know he dedicates this to his mother, which is great. But I really want to know, like, what's Odyssey Jones, like, really about? Like, this is actually where, if we would have had time, video packages would have helped. But, yeah. But good to see some fresh matches on main event, so that was good. I really wouldn't, like, touch on this, but I gotta touch on this. They started recapping the RK Bro stuff with Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. And then during the highlights of like everything that's been going on for like with these guys for months, they play some stupid music called I Wanna Be Your Friend. And it's just playing in the background. And it's just like they need to play. I'm pretty sure they're gonna play this on Raw. But like it was one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. Like it was so funny. This RK Bro thing actually has been having legs, so good on WWE for actually carrying this out. And then they recap the Randy Orton's return on Raw. And I will say this real quick. It's kind of funny how Randy Orton says they're not a team, but yet he's wearing the gear. Like, he's wearing the jacket, the RK Bro jacket. Like, I don't know if that's an edict from anybody to tell him that, but I just hope he knows that. But, of course, the main event match they recap was Randy Orton and AJ Styles. I'll go back and watch it over the weekend, but it looked good from what I saw. And then, of course, as you know, Randy Orton RKO'd Matt Riddle. So they're still keeping that odd couple tag team going. And that was it. Honestly, people, I would say definitely go and watch these two matches to actually get a glimpse for yourself of, like, what these four individuals actually brought. This was actually a very decent episode of main event. So, yeah, I'd say go watch it. If you don't want to watch Raw and SmackDown, you just want two decent matches, watch this. But, yes, for main event, more of this every single week. Not the same guys. Just rotate guys in and out. Alright, people, that is it from my end. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I am DJ Cass, and I will see you around later days.